I also know from the court, I'm sure the court's already seen it, it's towards the end of her testing window, so that leads me to have suspicion about what was it earlier in the day. I'm extremely concerned for public safety. Should she be released at all, I would ask that her bond be revoked and she be remanded. If the court is inclined to release her, I would absolutely request a scram tether. I don't think Soberlin is going to be sufficient for public safety.
And Your Honor, I think she would be okay with that, as she did ask for more times to test so that she could be more accountable to herself and to this court.
And Your Honor, I have to go back to that. I don't think more times to test is going to be an adequate solution here with somebody that's at a 0.28 crashes, runs from the scene, and has 2 fires.
Let me clarify. I was saying that she would be okay with the scram tether.
She's currently in some type of program.
She starts her program on the 22nd.
IOP, intensive outpatient.
IOP, intensive outpatient.
When?
September 22nd. She starts testing.
Do I have that? Is it somewhere in writing?
I have it on that.
She emailed it to me. I can send it to the court.
Well, you can send it to the court along with some order. There's got to be some structure. If she's not going to be in an IOP, I can't take the chance that she's going to go on another one of these, hop into a vehicle, and this time take somebody out. I can't do that.
Well, Your Honor, she has been negative, and that was just the 1 day slip up.
Yeah, but that's all it's going to take.
I understand.
She's got, this is her third.
I don't have a vehicle. Don't have a car. And I'm going to church, and I'm doing AA, and I volunteered. And I know what it looks like, but I wish people could see why I drank. To see the abuse and to see everything I went through. Well, why the hell I was living in.
I get all of that. The problem is that what's going to happen outside of the alcohol, you could potentially end up killing yourself just from the alcohol. But then all it takes is one of these slip-ups and somebody else goes. Somebody who had nothing to do with any of that abuse, had nothing to do with anything. They're all of a sudden wrapped into your world and your tragedy that you've been suffering. I get it.
I understand that. But I haven't drove in over a year, 2 years. I'm willing to go with alcohol tether, and I'm fine with that, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, she now keeps in contact with me as a support system. She calls me weekly and we talk.
And I have like letters.
Got to put together something. I'll consider it next week in terms of programming or something like that she's involved in.
Okay.
But
I do have IOP set up. I do have it set up with Medicaid rides and everything. I've been really working hard since I've been out to get back on my feet.
Going to happen again. Defendant's bond is revoked during the probable cause conference, September 4th, 2025, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, September 4th, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, today is the date and time set for probable cause conference. At this time, we're going to be asking for an adjournment to continue negotiations, as well as give my client some time to hopefully pay off some of the restitution in exchange for a better offer.
Before I set the date on an adjournment, she has a no bond warrant.
Yes, Your Honor. As to the violation, Your Honor, my client still has the tether on her leg. As to the explanation, Your Honor, she tells me she was riding her bike and the tether got caught in her bike and like with the pedal, so she kind of had to adjust it. She lives far away from community corrections. That's why she wasn't able to go in.
I have a broken phone too. I had my number to the tether guy in my phone, and I had no way to contact.
So the tether came off in a pedal.
No, it's still on. It just pulled it and it poked it. Like there's something poking through it.
Call community corrections at any point?
That's what I'm saying. I was able to. I didn't know who to call except for the tether officer, Mr. Levitt, but it was saved in my
Was
phone.
your tether
which
going
was
off?
broken. It was going off, but I was on my bike and I was kind of scared, so I wasn't sure where or what to do. I did call my mom right away. As soon as well, not call her, but I went to her work. I rode my bike to her work actually, and tried to use her phone, but I wasn't able to while she was using it for work.
So if you didn't know where to call, what were you gonna do with her phone?
I was gonna call the public defender, which I did. I was able to email someone that following Monday because it was on a Friday, but I did text Hannah Mackey from the public defender that night when I was able to use her phone, explaining that there was an issue and that I didn't have a way to contact. And then when I did finally get a hold of him, and left a message out until tomorrow, I think, but I was waiting for someone to contact.
Did you go to the community corrections?
I called them. I did when I finally was able to figure out who to call when I got the email.
When did you call them?
I called.
How many days after this alarm went off?
Well, it happened on Friday, and then I got the number to call the community corrections that following Monday. I called and left a message for Mr. Levitt. I think I left the message actually today.
Your Honor, I just want to say that this is a tether was put on because I believe for a previous failure to appear, and she is here today, Your Honor. So it shows that she does want to comply with the court order. She does want to be here. She does want to handle her case.
But she doesn't want to comply. Have you been to community corrections at all?
No, I live in Jackson. I was lucky to get here today. I wasn't even sure what was going on. I don't have a vehicle, or a phone at the moment. So I was requesting things through email as well, or trying to. I'm still charging it as well. Like I'm not trying not to.
She's not trying to abscond, Your Honor. She's not trying to disobey the court orders. It seems it was just an accident. And just due to her lack of efficient communication method, I think that's really where the problem lies.
I have an old tablet from 2015, I think, with Wi-Fi for communication right now.
And when I reached out to her and
intense, she jumps in like, I don't even have a car. Trying to prove she's not a danger. She talks about going to church, volunteering, doing better. And for a second, it almost sounds convincing. But the judge isn't focused on what she doesn't have. He's focused on what could happen if she slips again.
Her know that she would be required in person because she initially tried to attend via Zoom and put in a request via Zoom. She did her utmost to make it here, and she's here, Your Honor. So.
Yes, but I don't understand why she didn't.
She hasn't even secured a ride back yet today. So her transportation.
But why she didn't keep in contact more with community corrections?
I think it's due to her lack of.
This thing went off almost 10 days ago.
Well, I was waiting. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I apologize. I was waiting for someone to get back a hold of me through my mother's phone or through email because I wasn't sure, and I was still charging it. So I honestly just assumed everything was okay. I know that sounds stupid when I say that out loud, but I didn't know what else to do as far as contact. As soon as I found out the information this morning, I did everything I could to make sure to come. And left another message on Mr. Levitt's voicemail, who will not be in until tomorrow.
The second page and what they suspect this defendant was doing is really alarming to me.
I'm not sure what that means.
Your Honor, I think that is mostly just speculation. At this point. She still has the tether on. She's still been charging it. She's still.
What is?
And I don't think there's a hot zone to this tether, Your Honor. I think it's just a GPS tracking tether to make sure she comes back from court, is what I understood. And she is here today. So the purpose of the tether is being fulfilled.
Any response from the people?
Your Honor, when the court released this defendant in April of this year, the court gave her a chance. I had expressed concerns because she had 2 warrants out of Kent County, one for child support, one for an OWI 3rd, if I recall correctly. And I was worried about about seeing her again. The court gave her this tether as to track her location. So it is the people's opinion that strict compliance with the tether would be a condition of bond. So any tampering, anything like that. I noticed when the defendant was giving her recitation of what happened, she first said, I called my mom, and then very quickly said, I went to her work. Because she earlier had said that her phone wasn't working. So that is concerning to the people, and something I picked up on. I think the court picked up on it too, as
I did.
So I'm just worried about what's going to happen.
I don't think I'm being told the truth, in all honesty.
I understand.
Your Honor, I understand, but as I said, the purpose of the tether was for her to come back to court. I'm not sure why there's concerns if she's in court here today. And she's saying that she just misspoke because she's very nervous, Your Honor. She suffers from anxiety.
Steadily, the prosecutor points out she said she called her mom, then quickly changed it to I went to her work. That tiny slip. Yeah, the court noticed. Suddenly, her whole story starts to feel shaky. And once the judge thinks you're not being